Hello and welcome back to Secondhand Sellers, where we talk about thrifting, resale, and all things secondhand. I'm Klayton.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we have our guest, Hannah.
Hannah, this is the other half of Keeled Overstock. I've talked about her many times on this podcast. She does our photographs and a variety of other things around Keeled Overstock, but this is her first podcast appearance. So we have some questions for her, many of the things that we have talked about, and also we brought her on to show you some of her favorite thrift finds and get another perspective on the topics of thrifting and reselling. So, I guess starting out, did you have something that was a burning question, or should I just start going down our list of things you're going to talk about?
So, you go thrifting with Sarah.
Yes.
What's the worst aspect of going thrifting with a reseller?
Well, the truth is coming
waiting, because she likes to sit, which it makes sense. You have to look at everything, but my patience does wear thin a little bit. Especially when there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And coming down the aisle and she's just scanning, so I kind of just get bored and walk off sometimes.
Yeah, I think she has a quicker burnout level. Sometimes it's a problem, but I will continue looking beyond I'm already kind of tired and annoyed, but I feel like I should at least check the racks, which might be a whole nother issue. And she is just I'm done, I check out.
Well, yeah, I just get overwhelmed by the amount of stuff and the amount of people and just...
Yeah,
so.
She likes an empty thrift store, just about, but... Alright, so, you do like to thrift though, and you like you are very much in the secondhand realm. You own a lot of secondhand things, including that sweater, I think.
Yes, actually.
So what do you look for when you're thrifting? So let's say, what do you look for when you're thrifting for yourself personally?
Well, I tend to focus a lot on art and art-related things like statues or little weird knickknacks. Furniture, this is one of them. I own a couple of vintage radios as well, just because I like it. I think they're cool. Just the history behind them kind of makes me think about, the people that came before me that had this thing. So that tends to be that, and just old books for some reason. I think they're cool. So mostly just furniture and decor.
So what has been your best thrift find for your personal collection to date?
Well, I have a couple of them. This weird table, which we will show close up, I got actually at an auction, a local-ish one, for $30-ish. It is a weird table. Probably why I got it for so cheap. It did look rough, but I like weird things. I'm not going to have, obviously, everything looking funky in my room. That's just too much. But this table, and a couple of things just because I think it's cool. This little book here, which I should be a little careful with, it is from 1761. And
wow.
It's pretty cool. I like it just because, well, one, it's older than the U.S., so it's kind of neat to think of who has had this, the life it's had, and it's just...
Do you remember what you paid for that?
Oh, probably $1.
Yeah, no, because you were young when you got that,
yes.
Right? How long have you had that, probably?
Oh, geez, probably over a decade. Probably pushed almost 15 years. So that is one of them. And then this one is just a boring old applied psychology school book. But the reason I like this is the person that owned it had a lot of doodles. And this is from I'm gonna say it's around 1915. So World War I era. And they had doodles of little biplanes and little bicycles, one of my favorites.
You can tell they were studying hard.
But there's one in here, let's see if I can find it, of dog fights, and you can see the little bullets of the little American biplanes are shooting down the Germans. I thought it was funny, and then a couple other things like cannons and...
That's awesome.
So stuff like this, it's just kind of fun just to think about, especially because it's a certain time of history.
So did you pick that book up specifically because of the doodles?
And I think this is actually at a book sale, so I got it for about $1. And it's one of those things where at the end of the sale, Goodwill just comes in and just shovels it off. So I'm like, I'm going to keep that for myself.
That would have been like a library book sale, right?
Yeah. So I just kind of like that stuff. That's the stuff I tend to be drawn to, is the stuff that had a history. I think about the people that were... Like this kid, apparently he was not interested in the subject. But brings up another point. We've not really talked about library book sales, but our library has
book sales. Our library system has book sales throughout the year at their different branches, and they sell their books pretty cheap.
Yes.
It benefits the library. Usually friends of the library run it. And it's a great place to get books for yourself, but it's also a good, like she said, you can find some gems to if you're into reselling books. It might be a good place to look, and you're also throw my pencil. You're also supporting your library at the same time, and just like she said, at the end of the sale, they just have like Goodwill come in and take it all anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity. I'm glad you said that.
I think we've sold some of the library books too, because I mean you don't just go to the store and find old antique books everywhere. So
as we were going through your personal collection, I think we sold some of that stuff.
So that's a fun one.
So we've talked a little bit about your thrifting personally. What about professionally? What are your favorite things to look for when we're out actually sourcing for the business?
It's kind of hard for me sometimes to distinguish that because I am just instinctively drawn to art stuff. But now that I'm starting to get an idea of things, Riedel glasses, I am immediately like, oh, wine glasses. Oh, that looks fine.
And she's found some that we've sold too. We were at a Salvation Army, and she found a pair of kind of pretty stemless wine glasses that we sold.
I'll probably still have a picture for them.
Yeah, I can throw a picture up in here to show you those.
Stuff like that, and just kitchenware. I know that a lot of the kitschy 70s stuff, people like that. I like it. So I'm kind of drawn to the weird stuff. So that's been a couple of things too. I don't know why, because clearly that's not the stuff I collect. But
it just jumps out at you.
Yeah, it looks weird.
So where do you personally enjoy sourcing from?
Estate sales mostly.
Yeah.
You get a lot of more interesting things. I mean, not to say you don't. Like that one cat statue she found. That was like a one in a million thing. I feel like you don't just randomly find $300 some worth of a statue just sitting at a Goodwill.
And I don't know how it got there. It could have come from estate sales because I've in our Goodwill, I have seen stuff that I was like, I saw this at an estate sale a few days ago. Yeah. So I know some of the estate sale companies do dump their stuff at the end.
Speaking of, I was at a Goodwill recently. It still had the estate sale sticker, price sticker on the back of it, and they just put the Goodwill sticker over top of it and called it good.
I'm wondering if maybe certain estate sales companies in our areas just do that.
Yeah.
Automatically. I don't know how many it is. At the auction we talked about, I swear there was some stuff there that, including this table. I thought I saw a table just like this in an estate sale, and then suddenly, like a week or two later, it was at the auction house. So I don't know if it's the same table, but given how unique it is, I kind of feel like it might have been.
Yeah.
So you just never know. But when you like looking at estate sales, you like housewares and things. That's what you like to look for for our business. What has been your our best, in your opinion, our best thrift find to date for the business?
Ooh. Gotta say it was those wine glasses.
She's talking about the sommelier line wine glasses. It was a really nice estate sale. We got a lot of things. The person had really good taste.
Isn't that also where you had the magazines from?
Oh, that was a different one.
Oh, different.
That one was good too. They had a lot of art, but this particular one, we got the art pieces that are on the wall in the dining room and in our living room from this estate sale. He had really good taste in things. But the sommelier line Riedel wine glasses. I've talked about these several times.
I think it's just because of how nice they looked. Like they were still almost pristine once you cleaned them up.
Yeah, when I brought them home, they were very cloudy and dirty looking. Yeah. And just
a little bit of love can go a long, long way. I've noticed with a lot of stuff.
And that goes with almost anything you find. A little bit of elbow grease will get you more money.
Well, this table, going back to it, it looked rough. Like it looked dry. It looked like it was in a basement. It just flooded or something. You can kind of see it on the feet, but I cleaned it up, gave it a little wax, and I gave it a whole new life.
We're having a light situation over here. It's not storming. It's just the lights. Okay. So, I guess kind of to move on through that. So what is on your thrift wish list? What are we've kind of talked about the things you look for. Are there specific things that you've been needing or really, really wanting that you're hoping you can find secondhand before you buy it?
Most of that stuff has actually been already done. Like I've been looking for a nice metal bed frame, which I ended up finding one antique. I think it's probably like late 1800s or early 1900s. still pretty good. That was one of them. A glass shade lamp, which is kind of a weird thing. Sarah actually found one at the Goodwill.
We kind of cobbled
it
together two different lamps.
So if I could find a better base, that might be one. If I really, really wanted one, it would be like a Tiffany. That's probably
That's your white whale.
That is my like white whale.
Tiffany lamp.
If I could find one,
I want you to do that too, but I don't know if I could not sell it.
I know I would.
Art auction
I would have such a hard time because my luck, I would get it and immediately right in the ground.
We have cats.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any other comments on thrifting? How have you felt about thrifting or reselling, I guess, and how have you felt about? We are about 9 to 10 months in now.
There.
9 months. April will be a year,
Mm-hmm.
so that'd be about 9 months. It's January. So, how have you felt about reselling so far? And what are you hoping to see Keeled Overstock do in the next year?
I think the thing that was most surprising is how fast it caught traction. Because I was just kind of expecting maybe like a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. But once we started getting a little bit more, like 3-5 items a day, and it started to really pick up, even with the promotional stuff, it's still kind of like whatever. So it's kind of nice to see it just kind of rolling in a little bit. That was fun. But I don't know. I hope to just at least get a schedule going, get it to be more, and just kind of go up in
Scale
sales.
up your business. Yeah.
Which it has, like even just since June.
Yeah, sometime over the summer is probably when we really started
kind
getting
of
consistent.
a little bit. So I would like to see that just a little bit more.
And she's been doing more. She does, like I said, the photography. So she's been upping it so that we have kind of a goal for how many things. I don't know if we'll make it, but how many things we'd like to have listed by the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to get up to 300 listings. I don't know if we'll get quite there, but we'll get close with the things so we've both been working towards increasing the number of listings that we have always, like our running total, which of course as things sell, it's a moving target basically.
And the more you list, the more things sell.
Right, which is fine. I would rather it sell and us not hit the 300 than sit on it, but we've been working on that. So do you have any other comments about thrifting, reselling? What would be a tip for a new reseller or someone who is maybe even is a new thrifter?
Look at things that you might not necessarily think would be like a hot item, because it's usually those weird little things that's a diamond in your rough, and then you're surprised. Like I was shocked about the glasses, those wine glasses. Going back to them again, I did not expect those to sell, just because it's just a wine glass.
They sold pretty quickly too, I think, if I remember correctly.
It was like they were watching it. It was weird, but so just look for things that you may not necessarily think about, or it's not your taste, but you kind of have an idea. So and so likes this kind of thing, so I'm sure there's other people. So just kind of keep an open mind.
And it's shocking the amount of items that I've sold I care nothing about. But somebody else likes it, and somebody else has value to it, and by all means, let them have value to it.
Exactly. More power.
Everyone's needs and tastes are different. So, do you have any other questions for Hannah?
Overall, do you see yourself getting more involved with Keeled Overstock aside from just what you already do? Do you want to carry it more? Like, I know Sarah wants to carry it to the point where she's got her full-time business with her own store. Do you see yourself being involved with all that?
She actually has been the one pushing for a booth.
Oh, really?
And I would like to do that. I think just because, online is cool. It's easy. We can obviously just do it in our house, but I feel like getting the foot traffic is important. Like, you get people thinking about it, like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And the little piddly stuff that you don't really want to sell for like $1. It'll go.
Yeah, especially vintage stuff. You can find some like small vintage housewares or some of our leftover print blocks. We've talked about the print block lot that we bought.
Antique books. Like, sometimes it's not even worth shipping it off for a couple of dollars. Just get it gone.
But you might be able to get. That's when like small things like the $5 to $10 range, or even a couple of bucks if you get something in a large lot and you have a couple of low value items. Those booths are good for those kinds of things because you just have people browse.
And you can decorate it, kind of go like an IKEA route and set it up like, I don't know, set up a table and then like, oh, this table's for sale, and then look at this thing that's on top of it.
Yeah.
Just have a little bit of fun with it, which you can't really do online as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't stage it as much.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can't show people the possibilities. Because some people, no offense, but some people just don't have that imagination.
Yeah.
You just see it and it's like, oh,
What would I do with that? Yeah.
right. So you kind of help them along a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why interior design is a whole career. Exactly. Some people don't
Window
have the
shopping.
imagination for it. So, thank you so much for joining us. We will have you on again maybe in a couple of months. Talk updates. Maybe you can talk about your favorite finds in that past months. But if you are good, I think.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate
So now
it.
you have met Hannah. So now you have a face for the name. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. Come back next week and we'll have another episode of Secondhand Sellers.
See ya.